So this video may seem off topic for my channel considering I intended it to be about 3D printing, but since I am also involved in the hobby of RC car racing, there's a lot of things that go into that hobby, and one of them is painting your body. So I've been trying to teach myself how to use an airbrush. I have a relatively cheap airbrush kit, and I was getting ready to airbrush a body for my B64, and I wanted to put a somewhat simplistic design on it, so I was planning to use a liquid mask. So I went to a local hobby store and I bought a liquid mask there. It's not a normal store that I shop at, but close enough, and I know they do RC bashers there. So the product that they recommended was this Spazstix liquid mask. Basically, talking with the person there, they said they used it on their bodies and had good luck with it. Most video tutorials I see use the Biddy Design liquid mask. Now, the only place that sells that in town is a little further away, so I bought the Spazstix and I tried it out on a wing from a RC10B 6.4, and I found it was hard to work with. So I went down to the other hobby shop and I got the Biddy Design, and I did the whole body for my RC10B64, and it seemed easier to work with. So in this video, what I did was I took a piece of Lexan and I coated one side with the Spazstix and one side with the Biddy Design. So obviously, if you've seen any videos with the Biddy Design, the pink is the Biddy Design. And then I just traced out this calibration cube to put a pattern on it. So the main problem I had with the Spazstix was removing it. It seemed to really adhere to the Lexan, and it was very difficult to get off. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to take this cutter, cut out the square, see how easy it is to remove just the mask. Then I'm going to take it outside and spray it with some color, and then see how easy it is to remove painted liquid mask. So let's start off by cutting off the Spazstix square. And this probably isn't going to be a perfect square, but for the purposes of this comparison, should be fine. Okay, now let's see how easy it is to remove. Now, one thing I didn't mention is each side has 4 coats of the product on it. Well, that wasn't too bad. That's a much better result than I had on my wing test. Now let's do the Biddy Design. And let's see how easy it is to remove. It likes to fold up on itself, so it can be hard to get some to grab. There we go. Okay, so both of those came off fairly easily. The Spazstix came off a lot easier on this test Lexan than it did when I was trying to use it. But the primary difficulty I had wasn't the pieces I cut out, it was removing the bulk of the material after painting it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to grab a spray can of some color of paint that I have, spray it, let it dry, and then we'll see how easy it is to remove all the rest of the material. Alright, it's been a couple hours. It might be kind of hard to see because I chose fluorescent yellow paint to paint the piece of Lexan with, and with the yellow towel you may not be able to see it. But the next thing that I want to test with these materials is, now that it's painted, how easy is it to get the bulk of the mask off. Now, the problem that I had on my wing with the Spaz-Stix was removing the material. Had a lot of problems with that, so what I'm going to try to do here is just take this liquid mask off and see how well it comes off. So when I was doing this on the other piece, I found that I couldn't get the material all to come off at once. So it would kind of do this. It would break off into small pieces. It was very difficult to get the material off of the Lexan, and it kind of seems like what I'm seeing here. Now keep in mind, this is 4 coats of it. It's coming off better now. This is better than it was on the wing. On the wing, I was getting it in very small pieces at a time, so I wasn't able to just do this. I wasn't able to grab it and pull the whole thing off. Now, I think this material does break pretty easy, so I can't really put a lot of force on it when trying to remove it. See, it's very easy to break it. Now, on this piece of Lexan, maybe this isn't that big of a deal. You may be willing to kind of pull this stuff off, a little piece at a time. But if you were doing, say, a touring car body, a touring car body is fairly large, or if you were doing like a short course truck body, which is also a very large piece of Lexan that you're going to have to remove this mask from, it seems like it's hard to take off. It's very easy to break it. Yeah, this is kind of the same experience I had on the wing, was getting it off of the Lexan. It was a lot of work, and I wound up actually, while I was trying to remove it, because there were contours on the wing that I had painted where the mask went in between some of the molding on the wing, and I had painted some design on that. I wound up scratching the paint, and it's visible. I mean, the paint job on that wing does not look good at all. So that was why I actually went to buy the Biddy design. I wanted to see, if all of these masks are this difficult to work with, man, that's going to be tough. You can also see, I think it's hard to get it off of the wing when you get close to the area where the paint is. So, like, ideally I would have this separate or come up without me having to get really close to the paint. So now I kind of risk, like, if I'm going to use my nail or if I'm going to use a tool to get in here by the painted square, maybe I scratch the paint. And that's, again, how am I going to get that little chunk off of there without damaging the square? Like, if I'm going to put another color down, I don't know. I think removing it is tough, so let's try the Biddy design. Again, it's 4 coats of each material, so let's see if we can get the Biddy design mask off. On the body I painted, I had better luck removing the Biddy design mask, and I think I also did 4 coats of the mask on that body. So let's just see what happens here. Definitely when you round the corner, so I painted this on with a foam brush, and definitely when you round the corner of the Lexan, that's hard because it rounds the corner, so it's hard to pull it off. But already I kind of think that the Biddy design is coming off better. It sticks together a little better. I mean, you can for sure break it, but here's something that I think would probably make me choose the Biddy design over the Spaz-Stix, is it comes off clean from the thing that I cut out. See, on the other liquid mask, it was very difficult to get it off by where the square was cut out, but the Bitty Design seems like it comes off real easy. Yeah, so I didn't time this to see how long it took to remove each side of the mask, but I think we got a lot better result removing the Bitty Design than removing the Spastiks. I mean, both of them protected the Lexan just as well. I mean, there's not really any bleed through or anything like that. But over here, we still have liquid mask that's next to our design that we're going to have to get off, and we potentially are going to wind up scratching the design. Whereas over here, the mask came off really easy. So, like I said before, I bought both of these bottles of liquid mask with my own money. No one gave them to me. You know, it wasn't a thing where I was being asked or paid to do this. This is just something I wanted to put out there to help folks. If it's my money, I'm probably going to buy the Bitty Design. The Spastiks may work for other applications, but it seems like on the Lexan bodies, where when it comes to actually removing the liquid mask, you spend a lot more time removing it, and it doesn't come off as easy around the painted subject. So anyway, hope this helps.